Hi everyone, it's Claire here. Thanks for joining me in today's 30-minute full body Vinyasa flow. Let's begin in a child's pose on our mats, knees on the ground, drop your forehead to the floor and reach your hands in front of you above your head. Let yourself be heavy and feel that connection into the ground. Maybe start walking your fingertips forward in front of you to feel that stretch going from your hands down your arms and back and sink deeper into the position. When you're ready, let's come to tabletop position on all fours, and we're going to do 3 rounds of cat-cows. On an inhale, drop the navel to the ground and lift the chest for a cow. On an exhale, arch the back for your cat pose. Let's do this 3 times. Very nice. Following your inhalations and exhalations. Feeling that stretch in the spine and the hips and shoulders. Coming back to neutral position, let's start drawing circles, still on all fours. Circles first in one direction, few rounds in one direction. And when you're done, switch directions. Very nice. When you're ready, let's come back to a neutral tabletop. And roll over the toes as you lift your tailbone up to the skies. Let's come to our first downward facing dog. In this position, you can start walking your dog if that feels good, or maybe wiggling the hips, whatever feels good today in this first downward dog. If this is too much for the hamstrings, you can keep your knees slightly bent, or maybe lift your heels off the floor. On the next inhale, we're going to look forward, lift the heels and bend the knees and come to a plank. As you exhale, bend the elbows for chaturanga. As you inhale, roll the toes and lift the chest for your up dog. And exhale, back to down dog. Let's do this warm up 2 more times. Inhale to plank. Exhale, bend the elbows for chaturanga. As you inhale, roll over your toes up to up dog and exhale to down dog. Very nice. 1 more time. Inhale to plank. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, roll to up dog and exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. We're going to stay in down dog for 5 more breaths here. Walk out your dog if that feels good. Let yourself sink deeper into the pose every time. Tuck your tailbone in as you roll your shoulders back and away from your ears to ensure an external rotation of the shoulders. On your inhale, we're going to step the feet forward in between your hands and go into our forward fold. Very nice. 2 more breaths here. And inhale, straight spine to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold again. And inhale, reach your hands all the way up. Exhale, drop your hands by your sides for Samastitihi or mountain pose. 3 rounds of sun salutation A's here. Inhale, raise your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, raise your chest for up dog and exhale to down dog. 5 breaths here. Let yourself sink deeper into the down dog pose each time. Maybe let your heels drop down to the ground as you tuck your tailbone in and feel these opposing forces as you try to push the heels down to the floor. Very nice. On the next inhale, we're going to step the feet in between the hands whenever you're ready. Inhale, step the feet in between the hands, forward fold. Inhale, straight spine, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Second sun salutation A here. Inhale, raise your hands to the sky. exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, raise. Exhale, dive your chest to your calves, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine, and exhale, step or jump back to chaturanga. Inhale, roll up to upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Pull your navel in and up as you tuck your tailbone in, and let your heels drop towards your mat. Feel these opposing forces. As you ground yourself, try to lift your navel in and up towards the sky. Very nice. On your next exhalation, look up, lift the heels, and step or jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Let your head drop heavy. Inhale, lift your hands all the way up, and exhale back to samastitihi. Last sun salutation A here. Inhale, raise your hands. Exhale, dive the chest forward to forward fold. Inhale, straight spine to halfway lift. And exhale, step or jump back to chaturanga. Inhale, roll your toes to up dog. And exhale, lifting the tailbone up to downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Feel yourself sink deeper into the pose every time. Gaze towards your navel or to the back of your mat. Feeling the stretch in the hamstrings and the calves here. Very nice. On your next exhale, look up, lift the heels, bend the knees, jump or step towards the front of the mat. Halfway lift. Moving into 2 rounds of sun salutation B. Look up, bend the knees, drop the hips, and raise the arms for chair pose. Exhale, straighten the legs and dive the chest towards your knees for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step or jump back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, lift the tailbone up. Inhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee back on the mat for your low lunge. Exhale, back to chaturanga, and roll over the toes for your up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Now step the left leg forward, drop the right knee on the ground as you raise your hands up, low lunge, then exhale, back to chaturanga. Go through your vinyasa, up dog, then exhale, downward facing dog. Staying here for 5. That was our first round of sun salutation Bs. Get ready for 1 more. Sink just a bit deeper into that down dog pose. And on your next exhale, look forward as you lift the heels, bend the knees, and step or jump your feet between your hands. Inhale for halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, drop the hips, and lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step or jump back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, lift the hips back and up, and this time place the right foot between your hands as you raise your hands up for your warrior 1. Exhale, back to chaturanga and upward facing dog. Exhale, raise the tailbone up and place your left leg this time between your hands as you raise your hands for warrior 1 on the left side. Exhale, back to your chaturanga and upward facing dog. And back to our down dog. Staying here for 5 breaths. Good job, guys. We finished our sun salutation Bs. Now take a moment here to focus on your breath again if you've lost it. And remember throughout this practice to try moving with your breath. On your next exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, and jump or step forward in between the hands. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Moving into chair pose for 5 breaths. On your next inhale, bend the knees, drop the hips, and lift the hands up for your chair pose. Try to tuck your tailbone in as you keep a straight back. And try to sink a bit deeper with your tailbone down to the ground as you raise your hands up to the sky. This is a very challenging pose, guys. Very good work. And exhale, straighten the legs and dive your chest forward for your forward fold. Very nice. We're now going to space the feet hip widths apart and repeat a forward fold here in order to stretch out the hamstrings. Dive forward with your chest first. Try to touch your chin to your shins. And maybe grab your opposite elbows with your hands and let your head drop heavy as you stretch out the hamstrings and the calves. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And on your inhale, halfway lift and stepping back to your downward facing dog. On an inhale, place the right foot between the palms, rotate the back foot at 45 degrees and windmill your arms into warrior 2. Staying here for 5 breaths. Ground the heels in the outer side of the back foot and stack your shoulders over the hips. Draw your tailbone towards the mat. Keep breathing here, very nice. And on your next inhale, pivot your front palm up towards the sky and raise your front hand towards the sky as you go into your revolved warrior. Very nice. You can place the back hand onto your thigh if you wish, or keep it on your back. Last breath here, and let's windmill the arms back into warrior 2, then into our Utthita Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Here, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, keep your extended legs strong and straight, and ground through the outer edge of the back foot. On an inhale, lengthen the side body. On an exhale, rotate the torso, reach the heart towards the sky. Very nice. On our next inhale, we're going to windmill the arms back to parallel to the ground, straighten the front leg, and shorten our stance a tiny bit by coming into our Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Press both feet with equal weight, lengthen evenly through both sides of the torso, and press into the grounded hand as you grow taller through your raised hand. Keep your head in a neutral position, or if that feels comfortable for your neck, you can gaze up towards your raised hand. On your next exhale, frame your front foot with both hands as you step back into your chaturanga and flow it out with a vinyasa. Now let's repeat this on the left side. Exhale, down facing dog, and inhale, step your left foot this time between your hands, windmilling your arms into your warrior 2 on the left side. Rotate your back foot at a 45-degree angle as you ground through both heels equally. Keep breathing and gaze to your front hand. Tailbone lengthens towards your mat. On your next inhale, you're going to rotate your front palm towards the sky. When you're ready, rotate your front palm towards the sky, reach forward, then reach back and up into your reversed warrior. Very nice here. Your back arm can rest either on your lower back or come to bind on your front thigh. Both are okay. Ground through both feet as you reach up and back with your raised hand, feeling these opposing forces. On your exhale, windmill your arms to place your left hand outside of your left foot into our Utthita Parsvakonasana. On an inhale, lengthen the side of the body. On an exhale, rotate the torso, reaching your heart up towards the sky. Keep your extended legs strong and grounded here. Very nice. On your next inhale, we're going to come back to a neutral position and straighten the front leg. Maybe shorten your stance a tiny bit if you wish. And as you exhale, bend from the hip to reach your left hand down to the mat into our Utthita Trikonasana on the left side. Your left hand can either reach for your shin, your foot, or the mat, whichever feels comfortable and allows you to lengthen both sides of your body. The important thing here is to lengthen evenly through both sides of the torso, regardless of how far you reach with your left hand. Nice. On an inhale, we're going to frame the foot with both hands and go into our Vinyasa. And exhale, down dog. On your next inhale, place the right foot in between your palms and lift up to your warrior one. Keep the hips aligned and parallel, aligning the front knee over the ankle. Anchor the outer edge of your back foot as you draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. Reach your hands up as if you were reaching a beach ball above your head, and lengthen your tailbone towards the mat. Good work. On your next exhale, you're going to come to a low lunge, placing your back knee onto the mat and your hands on your heart. Getting ready for our Parvrita Parsvakonasana, or revolve side angle pose. Inhale, twist to your right, place the outer edge of your left arm outside of the thigh, and as you exhale, twist and relax deeper into this pose. You can stay here, or if you're comfortable, release the left hand to the ground and reach your right hand up and forward, forming a straight line from the tip of the fingers to your extended foot. If binding is in your practice, go ahead and bind. On each exhale, remember to rotate the torso deeper, reaching the heart to the sky. On each inhale, lengthen through your body. A few more breaths here, guys. Good work. On your next exhale, you're going to look down and frame your front foot with both hands, coming into our Parvrita Trikonasana, or revolved triangle pose. Reach the hands away from each other, grow wide in your chest. Ground equally through both feet, especially the back foot, which has a tendency to lift up. Lengthening through the spine to create space. Alright, so on your next exhale, come back to your plank and your chaturanga, going through our vinyasa before we move on to the left side. Back to down dog, then step our left foot this time between our hands, moving into a warrior one. Anchor the outer edge of the back foot, keeping the hips square as you lengthen the tailbone towards the mat. Draw your shoulders down and away from the ears and reach up. Feel these opposing forces as you ground through your feet and reach up through your hands. Very nice. On your next exhale, moving into our Parvrita Parsvakonasana, revolve side angle on the left side. Let's come to a low lunge to prepare, and exhale, twist to place your outer edge of your right arm outside of the thigh. Keep grounding through the outer edge of the back foot, front thigh parallel to the ground. If you're comfortable, stay here, or you can also reach your right hand to the ground as you reach your left hand up and in front of you, forming a straight line from the tip of your finger to your extended foot. You can stay here or you can bind, whichever you did on the other side. As you exhale, rotate the torso up towards the sky. As you inhale, straighten through the spine. Very nice, guys. Let's get ready to move into our Parvrita Trikonasana, or revolved triangle. On your next exhale, look down and release the hands. Let's go for Vinyasa to flush it out. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Feel free to walk your dog or move your hips, whatever feels good here. And on our next inhale, we're going to step to the front of the mat and stay in our forward fold for a few breaths here to stretch it out. Let your head drop heavy, keeping a neutral neck, and slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, starting from the lumbar spine up to the upper back, into our mountain pose, Tadasana. Good work, guys. Now let's move into our prasarita, stepping the right foot back and coming to face your right side of the mat. Place your hands on the hips and then on exhale, dive the chest forward so your torso becomes parallel to the ground. And opening your heart, dive your chest again so you can fold towards the mat. Very nice here. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings and the calves. Try to keep a neutral and straight spine as you let your head drop heavy to the ground. If this is too much for the hamstrings, feel free to widen your stance. This will make it easier. Now inhale, come back to neutral, and then we're going to place both hands onto the mats in the same line as our feet and dive forward with our chest again into the forward fold. Stay here for a few more breaths. Feel the stretch here. Then when you're ready, inhale, look up as you lift your torso. Place your hands back on your hips, then lift up to standing. Widen the stance a little bit here. We're going to move into our Skandasana or side lunges. This is a great exercise for the glutes. Bend your left knee as you move. Bend your left knee as you sit into your left side, keeping your right leg extended. Then slowly, staying down, shift your weight towards your right side and sit into your right side without touching the ground. Your hands can stay in a prayer position on your chest or move along the pose as you wish. Feel free to improvise here. As you shift your lunge from your left to your right side, try to stay low at the same time, not touching your tailbone to the ground. Good job. Come back to neutral and let's step back to the top of our mat into our mountain pose. Coming back to a seated position, getting ready for 3 rounds of boat pose or Navasana. On your next inhale, lift the feet off from the ground, your calves parallel to the ground. Try to balance on your tailbone here. Then if that feels comfortable, you can straighten the legs to form a V shape, a 90-degree angle between your torso and your legs. If you feel some pain in your lower back, please keep your knees bent. Then exhale, cross your legs, place your hands on the floor and lift your butt off the floor for 1 second and then back into Navasana. Very nice, guys. Remember to keep a straight spine by opening your heart and hugging your shoulder blades together. Feel the burn in that core. As you exhale, cross your legs, palms on the floor, lift your butt off for 1 second and back into our final round of Navasana. Almost there, guys. Good job. Open through the heart as you engage these legs. It's normal to feel some shaking here. Last breath. And when you're ready, cross your legs, palms on the floor, and lift up for that 1 last second. Very nice, we're done. Feel free to wiggle these legs to shake it out. And when you're ready, take a deep inhale as you open through the chest and then dive in with your chin forward, trying to reach your chin to your calves here. Forward fold for 5 breaths. Your hands can be placed on your shin, your feet, or binding behind your feet, whatever feels comfortable. Remember to keep a straight spine here by trying to touch your chin to your calves rather than your forehead. Very nice. And come back to a neutral seating position. Shake it out. When you're ready, place your hands behind you. Shift your weight into your heels and lift your tailbones up towards the sky as you drop your head behind you for reverse plank. Hugging your shoulder blades together as you send your heart and your tailbone up towards the sky. Keep your feet grounded. And on an exhale, come back to seated. We're almost done, guys. Now, place to our cool down. Come to a lying position on your mat and hug your knees to your chest here for 5 breaths. You can roll from side to side if that feels good. This position is meant to release the lower back after the forward folds we just did. Stay here for a couple more breaths and release your feet to the ground. Moving into a shoulder stand or candle pose. Use your hands on your lower back to support you as your feet raise up towards the sky, balancing here for a couple of breaths. Now, if plow pose is in your practice, I recommend keeping inversions for at least 10 breaths at a time in order to allow the blood flow to reverse in the body. If you have your balance here, you can try lifting your arms up one at a time. If not, you can keep them on your lower back. Now, if plow pose is in your practice, start lowering your feet until the top of your toes touch the ground behind your head. Interlace your fingers behind you. Keep your legs extended here, and your hips are going to stack over your shoulders. If this is too much for your neck, you can stay in your shoulder stand. Few more breaths here. And when we're ready, we're going to start rolling down one vertebrae at a time back into our lying position. Slowly roll down. And placing your feet on the mat. Extend your legs out. Relax your entire body. Place your palms facing up to the sky. And you can close your eyes to go into our final pose, Shavasana. Make any final adjustments before trying to stay completely still for a few moments. Focus on your breath on each inhale and exhale, on how your breath is different now than at the beginning of your practice. Let your entire body sink onto the ground. Feel free to pause this video and stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, bring movement back into your feet and hands first, then maybe your knees and elbows. Deepen the breath and bend your knees to hug them into your chest. Take a few breaths here. Then roll towards your right side, keeping your eyes closed. Focusing back on the breath. Then support yourself with your hands and come back to seated position. Your legs can be crossed or however feels comfortable. Take a moment to thank yourself for doing this practice today. And as you lift your head up, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in this yoga practice today. I hope that you enjoyed it and hope to see you again soon.